Well, good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day. And what a beautiful way to start a video in Stepford County Railway. We have the rising sun. It means new opportunities for the day. And this new opportunity from me to you. In this video, I will be showing you a demonstrated guide on how to properly set up signals in the signaling zone that you will be controlling for anyone that are current signalers, future signalers, and people who just want to watch and just learn. Then this video is right for you. Now, this video is going to be primarily aimed for the group that are not signalers. But obviously, the signalers can also watch and enjoy the video and possibly take notes. So, what's going to happen is that as we go along through this, I will demonstrate the setup method that I use for each respective zone. And some of this just includes a loop method, triangle method, left to right, up and down, so on and so forth. So each zone is consisted of my own little method of setting up, and y'all can mimic these setup zones for faster setup times and for consistency, just to help you out with the setup process, just to make sure you're not missing anything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So in order for you to follow along, you are going to have to be in your own private server. You are able to watch and take notes, but I recommend you getting your own private server for 75 Robux for 1 month and become the signal role so you can follow along. This will be the best way to get a feel for how to set up your signaling zones. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first of all, you're going to want to spawn in as a signaler and make your way down to Stepford Central. We will be starting off with Zone A, and we're going to end at Zone G. We're going to start in the Stepford ROC, and we're going to end in the Stepford ROC. So spawn in as the signal role, make your way upstairs, come into the ROC, and you're going to make your way down to Zone A. Zone A consists of this entire Stepford area that goes from Stepford Victoria, Whitefield, Willowfield, all the way out to the east end of Stepford East. This entire area is all yours, and this is one of the largest zones that you are able to signal, and this is the zone where there's a lot of traffic, specifically traffic that are related to new players, because the new players typically spawn here at the Beachley sidings, and there can be a lot of mayhem in this area. So as I am setting up, there are these little mini zones per se that I like to do. It's just like a little mental checklist just to make sure I'm doing everything correctly. Like, so for example, Stepford Victoria is a mini zone. Beachley Triangle and Beachley, this is a mini zone. Whitefield, along with its respective depot sidings, mini zone, so on and so forth. All these are like little mini zones that I follow just to make sure that they are all set up correctly. So Zone A, this is the loop method. Now, what do I mean by loop method? So as I'm setting up, I just make one big loop. I start at Stepford Victoria, and I follow the outside, going all the way around, following the outside, and I'm just making one big loop and ending at Stepford Central. That's the loop method. So we're going to start down here at Stepford Victoria, and we are just going to make our way around, and we're going to finish up at Stepford Central. So, Stepford Victoria, you're going to want to set all of your your station signals to red, all your platform signals to red, and you're going to set these two signals to red because these two conflict with each other. This one can stay green because trains entering have a higher priority per se than trains leaving, so these can stay green. So then we're going to follow up along the outside, and we're going to come up to the Beachley Triangle. So whenever you're doing a triangle, the three inner signals will become red, and the outsides can remain the same. That's because technically the outside signals don't interfere with each other, because They can go to the left and they go to the right, and they won't conflict with any other outer signal. They have to come into an inner signal if they're going to the right, which may conflict with another track. So that's why the insides are red and the outsides are yellow. Going up to Beachley, the 2 depot signals are to red, and Beachley terminating platforms are also to red. Following up, we are over here at Whitefield, and you may want to take a guess on how this is all set up. It's super simple, because all that you do is that you just set these signals to red, and you set these 3 to red. So now, we're still following the outside, we're going to make our way down to Whitefield. So we're going to set these signals to red, set this depot to red, we're going to follow the outside, set the depots to red, and we're going to set these 3 platforms at Stepford UFC to red. Again, because of conflicting signals. Following along the outside, we're here into this big mini zone, as I like to call it, for Stepford East. So this is like the big Stepford East mini zone. And there's a lot of signals that you have to change here. So I kind of split this mini zone in half. Whoops, I cut this in half to deal with the signals on this half over here and on this half over here. So starting over here, we set these signals to red, because again, conflicting signals. We set these 2 signals to red because the track coming from Stepford UFC has a lower priority and has less traffic than coming from St. Helens Bridge. Platform 6 is red because trains going along the Airlink line for 5 and 6. 5 has a higher priority every time. If 5 is not taken, trains go that way. And then 6 becomes red because of a conflicting track. So then this section is done. Now we're going to come over here to the left side of Stepford East. All of your depot signals will be red, and then these 2 signals coming from Stepford Central will become red. So this is like the signal for platform 10, and this is the Stepford Central terminating platforms for Connect. These 2 are red because, again, conflicting signals. So then we're going to make our way down the line, and we're going to set these 2 to red because platform 8, this track right here, has a higher priority compared to the other 2. And then, as we finish off, we're going to set every single terminating platform at Stepford Central to red. And just like that, that is the loop method for Stepford Central, for Zone A, and for everything in this zone. Super simple. Start at Stepford Victoria, just follow the outside all the way around, then finish at Stepford Central. That is the loop method for Zone A. Now let's go on to Zone B, where there is a slightly different approach for the setup method that I use. Alright, so we are here at Beaulieu Park, Zone B, in this wonderful little signal box. Make your way up the stairs and make your way down to the chair. This is Zone B. The method that I use to set up the zone is the triangle method. We just make a triangle throughout the zone. We start at St. Helens Bridge and we end at St. Helens Bridge. So we're officially starting at St. Helens Bridge. So all that you need to do is that you need to set this signal to red. This signal to red because, again, this is a track that has fewer traffic than the traffic coming from Angel Pass. You set this signal to red as well. Following up, we are here at Angel Pass. The outer platforms go to red because the insides have priority all the time. And then we're going to make our way down to the side. These 2 platforms at Bowden are red. Following up, we are over here at Coxley. So this signal becomes red, and then these 3 are red because, again, conflicting signals. Conflicting signals are red. And then this inner signal becomes red. So then we're going to make our way down the side, and we're going to end up over here. So following this side and then coming up on the base leg, this signal becomes red, this signal becomes red, and this signal can stay as it is, but you do have to take consideration of this signal just in case there's any conflicting traffic. Then we're going to be over here. This signal is red, but this one can stay green. Following along the base leg, this one is red, but this signal can stay green. Now, the reason why I call this the triangle method is because whenever I do it, I kind of set up as like little checkpoints. So one corner is St. Helens Bridge, then up one side is Coxley, then down one side it's over here in East Beverly and Bewley Park, and then along the base leg over here is the third side. So y'all probably wondering, why is this section green and not red? Well, that's because express traffic, the probability of an express train going on this track instead of going to Benton or going straight to Stepford East for Airlink, is because the probability for express trains going on this track is a lot higher than trains going through Benton. So that's why this small stretch of track has a higher priority, and that's why that these are set to green, and why the Airlink track is set to red and the track coming from Benton is red. So that is the triangle method for Zone B. Let's make our way down to Zone C. First of all, I'd like to welcome you back to the relatively new airport zone. This was updated version 1.10. That was a couple months ago. But now we're in 1.10.7. It's still relatively new, but a lot of stations have gone under renovations. So, yeah. So, make your way down to the airport zone, and we're going to head on down into the airport signaling center. And sit and put your butt down in the Zone C chair. So this method is what I like to call the hook method. So the reason why it's a hook is because we start down here, we follow along the outside, and as a hook, there's a little point that's down here, and you can kind of see, like, from the outline that it looks like a hook. It's a very blocky hook, and that's why this is called the hook method, because it looks like a hook, and the path that we take to set the zone is like a hook. So you're going to want to start at the very end of the hook. You're not starting at the tip, you're starting at the very end of the hook. You're setting Benton Bridge Platform 4 signal to red. And then as we're going to go up, we're going to set this depot signal to red, as well as these 3 signals to red. All of these are conflicting signals, and they have a chance that they can interfere with the train. So then we're going to make our way up to Airport Central. These 2 signals are red, and then every single platform signal at Stepford Airport Central is set to red. Why is this? Every single platform has conflicting tracks. When we make our way up, this signal becomes red because, again, conflicting tracks, and the reason why that this is red and this is not a yellow for entry is because this signal conflicts with platforms 4 and 5, and 4 and 5 can go either way. So there could be a train at platform 4, or I'm sorry, let's say there's a train at platform 5 that could be entering, and the track is set for platform 4 going south. That will have a conflict, and that won't be very good. So again, following the outside, we're going to set this signal and this signal to red. And then we're going to go here, and then we're over here at this mini triangle. So the mini triangle is somewhat similar to a normal triangle. I mean, it basically is the same, because the inside conflicted points are red. And then these signals are set to red because, again, conflicting. And this is red because trains can travel on this track as well. So that's why this is not yellow. So then we're coming all the way down to the tip of the hook. We're going to be setting this signal, and this signal to red. as well as these 3 signals and these 4 signals to red. And that is the hook method of Zone C. And again, we start from down here, we follow up, go along the outside, set up every signal, and we finish down here at the tip of the hook. That's the hook method. Now let's make our way down to Zone D, Zone Delta. Alright, we are back here at the Stepford ROC. So whenever you make your way back to the ROC, you go ahead and make your way down to the Zone D desk. So Zone D ranges from Morgantown all the way down to Layton City and Layton West. And then this method is also a hook method because we're starting down here at Morgantown. We're just following along the outside and we're just going to hook around and finish at Layton West. So this hook method is turned, but it's still the same process. We're starting at the end of it and finishing at the tip along the outside. So starting over here at the left. So at Morgantown, we're going to set this signal to red, these 2 signals to red, as well as all of these signals down here for platforms 5 and 6. 5 as in both A and B, and all the platforms 6, including those conflicting signals. Because again, as I said a million times, all of these are conflicting points. You have to watch out for those. These can stump you, and these can get you on your practical assessment for your for whenever you're actually getting graded for your signaler rank. So you have to watch out for those. Depot signals go to red, the inner triangle goes to red. Now keep in mind, Zone D has 2 triangles. These 2 can be very tricky, so if you're not careful, these can also get you hard. Go set that signal to red as well. Go set this one to red. Then we're still following along the outside. And then we're just going to make our way down here all the way to the end. Set these 2 signals to red. Set this depot signal to red. And then we're going to set all these signals to red. Now, Layton City and LSR, they have a lot of reds. They have a lot of reds, and as you can probably guess, conflicting signals. Every single signal that is red in here are conflicts. It's a lot. It is a lot. So just take a minute, soak it all in. It's a lot. Whenever you're signaling this, it's not really that bad, but just bear in mind that in this area, this is the most consecutive amount of reds that you'll ever encounter. So then following along the outside, again, this is the second triangle. So you set the inners to red, outside stay the same. Then you set these 2 signals, Layton West, to red. And that is the hook method for Zone D. So once again, starting over here at Morgantown, following along the outside, going all the way around, going through Layton, Stepford Road, and Layton City, looping around through the triangle, and the tip is at Layton West. Let's make our way down to Zone E now, and this one's going to be a lot simpler to control. So welcome to the Limb by the Sea Lounge. This is where the signaling desk is at. So once we spawn at Limb by the Sea, make our way down to the Zone E desk in this little signal box room. Now this zone is super long. Lengthwise, this is one of the longest zones that you have to deal with, because there's just a bunch of stretch between stations. It's just so spaced out. So the length, this is the longest zone. So whenever you're setting up, the method that I use is just a simple left to right method. I start at Limb by the Sea and I finish down here at Eggmead. It's just a left to right motion. That's all that we're doing. Alright. So now, We're starting down here at Limb by the Sea. All platform signals, again, go to red. All of you know the reason by now on why that these are red. This signal goes to red and this signal goes to red. And then, whoa. Then we're going to go over here, set these signals to red, and following down, we're here at West Wyvern. These signals go to red and this one goes to red. So there's only 3 in the West Wyvern area in this mini zone. Mill Castle, that one goes to red. Lower priority track, you gotta love those. Red, red, double red. This one goes to red. This one also goes to red. Red and red. And finishing down at Eggmead. These 4 signals along platform 2 become red. So that is the left to right method for Zone E. Start on the left side, go starting at Lynn. And just make your way down to the right. All the way down to Eggmead. Left to right. Let's make our way down to Zone F. The most famous zone for the longest time to be known as the Waterline Zone. So when you spawn in at Benton, make your way down to the Benton signal box. Go ahead and walk in, take a seat, get a load off your feet. So, this, as I said, for the longest time, consisted of mostly Waterline. This was the Waterline Zone. But since 1.10 came out, Zone G also consists of just Waterline. So this holds most of Waterline, and then Zone G holds the rest. Not including Zone C, because Zone C has 1 station that's part of Waterline. So this method, I like to call, is the double hook method. So the end is over here, we follow along, and then we do 1 hook over here, and then we do the other hook down here on the other end. That's all that we're doing. It's just a hook method, but we just do it twice. Twice-ish. So let's go ahead and just jump right into this. So starting over on the left side, we're going to set our Newry Harbor signals to red, Newry signals to red, and the depot signal to red. And then we're just going to follow the way down, depot signal to red, signal to red, and then Benton has a lot of signals that need to get to red, but the process is not too bad. So platform 2 goes to red, 4, 5, 6, and 7 go to red, 8 and 9 go to red, and then 11, 12, and 13 go to red. Scooting our way down, this signal goes to red, and then these 2 go to red, as well as this signal and this signal. Now, one thing that I will say is that this signal right here, there is not a single train here yet that passes this signal. And if there is, I'm just oblivious. But this signal is here for a reason. I do not know why. And it's just sitting here. I don't think a single train has ever gone through here. But it's here as a connection to go from Port Benton to Benton. But I assume it's probably like a connect reroute to go from Morganstown to Benton for that, to make that connection. So as part of the setup, this signal has to be set to a non-red aspect. And after trains get out of the depot, you have to set this back to yellow. Even though that there is not a train going through, you have to make that move. That's just a fair warning if you are going to be proctored in this zone. So then we're gonna go along the short hook. Cambridge Street Parkway, set those signals to red. Set this signal to red. At Ashland Park, set these to red. Boom, just like that. That is the short hook method. Now, we're gonna go along the longer hook. We're gonna set this signal to red. We're gonna set these two signals to red as well. And then, as we are coming along, going along this downside through Port Benton, this signal becomes red. Then these two become red. Following along, which then we come up to down here. This is red. This is also red. Red, red. Boom, just like that. And that is zone F. And once again, double hook method. Start over here, follow along the outside, come up through Benton. You set all Benton signals to red. This is like a checkpoint to say, just so that you know that you have cleared everything to the left. Like I got it all set up. This is like a big barrier telling you, hey, everything over here is set up. Just stay over here, focus on the right, just to help you out. So go through, do the short hook, get all that set up, and then follow along the outside, and then do the longer hook. Just follow that all the way around and finish up here. Now, we're going to make our way down to the most difficult, and I mean the most difficult zone of all time in Stepford County Railway, the infamous Zone G. And once again, we are ending it off here in the Stepford ROC. We started here, we met in the middle here, and now we're ending here. Funny how all that works. So make your way down to the Stepford ROC and come to the middle desk. Zone G. This zone is the hardest zone possible. There is so much signals here, you are not able to control it by any means necessary. You will lose your mind before you even get started of how difficult the setup process is here. So be warned. You may be afraid of this zone after I complete up the setup process. Just warning you. If you want to step back, go ahead and do it now. If not, let's jump right into it. We're doing a very simple left to right method. That is all that we're doing. We're setting up Zone G. We're going to set these two signals to red. Following down, these two signals go to red. And still following along, going down to the right, deep blue signals go to red. And then Esterfield platforms go to red. Now, that was a very difficult setup. So much has changed. I mean, if you look at this, this is the hardest zone. This zone will make you horrific. You will be horrified of this zone at any time that a waterline train of all things, goes through this zone. It's so horrific that no one ever controls this zone because of the unimaginable power that this zone has. It's unbearable. It is unbearable. And y'all know I'm joking, right? This zone is just so small that no one ever comes here, and there's hardly any waterline trains. And there's really only one terminating spot, and it's just down and back. There isn't like a turnaround point at the end of Zone G to just go back and forth to do a gridlock. It would be really cool though if there was like a terminating up here so that we could just do Zone G. I think that would be really cool just to have a gridlock in that zone. But that is it. So repeating again, left side, you do these 2 signals, following through these 2 signals, and then following through, you do these 6 signals. That's it. Only 10 signals that you have to change in zone G. That's pretty simple. That's very, very simple. And that, my friends, is how I set up every single zone in Stepford County Railway, and I am hoping that y'all will take notes and figure out and follow my methods on how to set up the zones properly. And if y'all have your own zone or your own methods to set up each zone, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to copy my zones. I was just doing this just because I want to do it. I want to show the good people that are watching this video on how to properly set up, because I know there's a lot of people that have questions on what to set up and how to set up. So I made that possible. So if all of you that are watching have enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I am doing a lot outside of YouTube, but having y'all support, knowing that y'all watch my content, is very meaningful. So I keep pushing out content, just for all of you, wonderful people on the other side of this screen that I cannot see. I am waving to all of you right now, by the way. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. Comment down below your questions, ping me on Discord, ask your questions there. I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. And for this video, I have followed the setup guide for SCR, for signaling, and for the zone setup, because sometimes I do forget some signals and how they should properly be set up. So that's why I did it just in case. So y'all can look at the guides as well. But hopefully this visual reference is helpful enough to get you going. So again, leave a like, subscribe, completely free. You can always change your mind and unsubscribe from me later. Other than that, I hope all of you have a great day. Again, if you have questions, let me know. I hope all of you take care. All of you have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.